Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Welcome to the Purely Prabhupada YouTube channel. This video series is called Reality Distinguished from Illusion for the Welfare of All. My name is Kamra Devi Dasi, and I am a disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So this is the fourth video of this series, and it's called Desire for Peace, Karma for War. The title speaks for itself. The word karma essentially means that for every action there is a reaction, or in terms of the Bible, as ye sow, so shall you reap. So we know that the world is in a precarious situation. There's much talk of war and much talk of achieving peace. There is desire for peace, but karma for war. People are uneducated and they continue their sinful ways, not realizing that there is a connection between what they do, what they eat, and the world situation of ever-increasing violence. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 26, Text 5, in this section, the great sage Narada Muni is instructing a prominent king who had requested counsel on the purpose of life. So he was instructing the king by narrating a story, an analogy involving a king of the same mentality. The name of the king in the story is Puranjan, and this verse is spoken by the sage Narada. So again, that's 4th Canto Bhagavatam, 26th chapter, text 5. So this verse, at that time King Puranjan was very much influenced by demoniac propensities. Because of this, his heart became very hard and merciless, and with sharp arrows he killed many innocent animals in the forest, taking no consideration. And Srila Prabhupada gives a purport to this verse. When a man becomes too proud of his material position, he tries to enjoy his senses in an unrestricted way, being influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance. He is thus described as asuric, or demoniac. When people are demoniac in spirit, they are not merciful toward the poor animals. Consequently, they maintain various animal slaughterhouses. This is technically called suna or himsa, which means the killing of living beings. In Kali Yuga, due to the increase of the modes of passion and ignorance, almost all men are asuric or demoniac. Therefore, they are very much fond of eating flesh, and for this end, they maintain various kinds of animal slaughterhouses. So Prabhupada continues, in this age of Kali, the propensity for mercy is almost nil. Consequently, there is always fighting and wars between men and nations. Men do not understand that because they unrestrictedly kill so many animals, they also must be slaughtered like animals in big wars. This is very much evident in the Western countries. In the West, slaughterhouses are maintained without restriction, and therefore every 5th or 10th year there is a big war in which countless people are slaughtered even more cruelly than the animals. Sometimes during war, soldiers keep their enemies in concentration camps and kill them in very cruel ways. These are reactions brought about by unrestricted animal killing in the slaughterhouse and by hunters in the forest. Proud, demoniac persons do not know the laws of nature, or the laws of God. Consequently, they unrestrictedly kill poor animals, not caring for them at all. In the Krishna consciousness movement, animal killing is completely prohibited. One is not accepted as a bona fide student in this movement unless he promises to follow the 4 regulative principles: no animal killing, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. This Krishna consciousness movement is the only means by which the sinful activities of men in this Kali Yuga can be counteracted. So there's a poem, a very well-known poem by George Bernard Shaw, who actually spent most of his life as a vegetarian. So I wouldn't normally quote a poet of this world, but his words align with the spiritual reality. So I'm going to read this poem. I'm sure you're familiar with it. So whatever references might serve to wake people up to the situation that's being created by sinful activity is useful, as the world is in a grave place of emergency. So George Bernard Shaw wrote, "We are the living graves of murdered beasts, slaughtered to satisfy our appetites. We never pause to wonder at our feasts if animals like men can possibly have rights. We pray on Sundays that we may have light to guide our footsteps on the path we tread. We're sick of war. We do not want to fight. The thought of it now fills our hearts with dread, and yet we gorge ourselves upon the dead. Like carrion crows, we live and feed on meat, regardless of the suffering and pain we cause by doing so. If thus we treat defenseless animals for sport or gain, how can we hope in this world to attain the peace we say we are so anxious for? We pray for it over hecatombs of slain to God, while outraging the moral law. Thus, cruelty begets its offspring, war." So we see that the greatest misfortune for nations and individuals is to become godless, which automatically, if a nation or an individual is godless, they're going to be sinful. When there is sinful activity, especially meat eating, there is also sinful reactions such as war, disease, famine, natural disturbances, and so on. It is the duty of government to see that the citizens are living a life of God consciousness, or this government is implicated in the resultant sufferings of the citizens. When people act against the laws of nature and the law of God, there is heavy punishment, especially in the form of outbreaks of war. Today we have a government in the United States that very much appears to want to bring peace to the world. Yet this government is comprised of many well-meaning people who are also heavily invested in eating meat, especially the flesh of cows. They claim that for health reasons, meat eating is essential. They say that real Americans eat meat. They claim a Christian heritage, yet ignore "thou shalt not kill." Therefore, a desire for peace, but the karma for war. May they somehow be brought to their senses by accepting proper spiritual education, and then they can guide their constituents rightly. And only then is there real hope for peace in this world. So for more information on this subject matter and other spiritual matters, please visit purelyprabhupada.com, where you can also purchase the pre-1978 editions of the writings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And I want to thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna.
If you are interested in the subject matter of this video and would like to learn more, please visit purelyprabhupada.com. Ancient truths for the upliftment of the modern world.